Okay, so we've got the Cardinals going up against the Falcons. Well, the Falcons were so promising. They really were. And then their entire offensive line got hurt, and Matt Ryan remembered how to choke, and their defense isn't good. They've got a couple of good players, but I don't know if it's scheme or depth or what, but they seem to get dominated a lot. Julio Jones is great. Calvin Ridley's good one week, terrible the next. And, their lead running back went on into reserve earlier in the year. I think that covered all the bases there, but those are all a bunch of excuses. They really are. I mean, great teams pull it together with what they have. The Seahawks were doing pretty bad at the beginning of the year and slowly started matriculating towards being a real big boy team. And they're doing well. So what's the Falcons' excuse? I don't know. I just... It's a team that should be so much better than they are. I mean, you look on paper at all the talented players that they have and just... Then you look at their record and shrug your shoulders. And on the opposite side, you have the Cardinals. They were an honest-to-God train wreck at the beginning of the season. I mean, rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, and offensive coordinator that's bounced around a few times and not done well in his last few stops. They get rid of McCoy, and Byron Leftwich, of all people, comes in and turns an offense around. I mean, that was weird. But ever since he's been the play caller, their offense has actually looked serviceable. They've looked like a real NFL offense, which they definitely didn't look like at the beginning of the year. Larry Fitzgerald is meshing better with the young Josh Rosen, and you've got David Johnson Jr., who actually looks like David Johnson Jr. again. I mean, just a few years ago, he was the running back that saved my fantasy football season when I picked him up after the Chris Ivory injury, and he won the championship for me that year. And ever since then, he's been the number 1 or number 2 overall draft pick in most fantasy drafts. So, you kind of wondered where he was at the beginning of the season. Not anymore. He looks great. He's a good receiving threat. Not great receiving threat. But he really shoulders the burden of that running game, which is a little extra burdened because of the rookie quarterback. But he's doing well these past few games. And Atlanta is just reeling. I mean, they're not doing really great, are they? What are they, 5 losses in a row? And I understand a lot of that's against quality teams, but if you want to be a quality team, you have to beat quality teams. And I understand the Cardinals' record isn't much better in the last 5 games. They've only won 1 of those, but it's very much a what have you done for me lately league. And more of Atlanta's success was much earlier in the season, whereas the Cardinals' success has been closer to now. So, yeah, I don't expect it to be a great game to watch. Both of these teams are prone to shooting themselves in the foot, making all sorts of mistakes for various different reasons. Atlanta's more terrible offensive line and, choking all over themselves. Whereas the Cardinals are more very inexperienced quarterback and a coach that's really figuring out what his job is. So, different reasons, but still bad results. Julio Jones deserves so much better in Atlanta. And for his sake, I hope he either finds that with his team, which probably won't happen, or more likely, takes the end of his career and moves to a team that has a quarterback that knows how to get a W on the board. I'm sorry, Atlanta fans. You got a lot of promise, you got some talent on there, but you just find ways to lose. And yeah, it's going to happen again. With this one, I'm going with the Cardinals.